Tiffany Henyard is running it up. Running it up. Yo, and I watched the last board meeting. Of course, Vivian was going off on her as
Oh, of
always,
course.
and the rest of the crew going off. Of course, rightfully so. And they was I think they put a new cap on credit card spending.
Yeah.
I think it's only the village. I think the village administrator guy, Keith Friedman, she fired him
Yeah.
at the end of the meeting. She's like, "You've been fired, Keith," something
Right.
like that.
Okay, yeah. So she illegally fired him, so that's why at the end of the meeting they got all quiet because that's part of the investigation now too. Because when you hire and fire people, you supposed to bring them in front the board first. She didn't do that.
Mm.
Over with for her, man.
But you know why though, right?
Which part?
You know why though?
Boy, Keith?
Yeah, because
Because he's
man,
snitching.
them feds got him. Them
He's
feds got him.
snitching.
So
They finna get her
shit,
too.
Oh yeah.
I know. But she like I need to cut my ties with him because he probably who knows what he's telling the feds, but the feds got him
Oh,
now. It's getting
Yeah,
fucking
it ain't gonna
nasty.
matter. It ain't
sure,
gonna matter.
man.
All they doing is they know they getting her. They just sitting there building up their case more. That's all they doing.
Right, right.
That's how
That's what
they take their time with their shit. They know we know we're getting her. Let's just give her more room to
To keep
give
talking.
us more. Yeah, let her keep talking. Let her keep
Yeah.
talking.
Because he's
bro.
talking big
I
boy
don't,
though,
I'm
too.
not gonna lie though. The funniest thing to me, I've never seen something like this where
You ain't lying. Bro.
I've never seen something where like there's so much, there's smoke, there's fire, there's so much fire there, and she's standing in the middle of it like, it's something wrong with y'all. Y'all tripping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Everything.
playing the trustee. Yeah.
yeah. She on down that sport like that, but it's like you you move too loud.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like
God.
listen.
Yeah.
Politics. There's no clean hands. There's
Yeah,
very few
no.
clean hands in politics.
Right. Right.
But you got to move quieter than that. Like you came in the door just like
The funny thing though, playing devil's advocate though, I feel like when I've listened to her, she has good ideas. It seems like from what it's like she has good ideas and good visions to do things, but it sounds like she don't go by any type of budget. She just kind of does stuff.
but 40K on Amazon on a Dolton credit card is insane, bro. That's insane.
Was it Prime Day?
Oh, damn. I think it was
That makes a
Cyber
difference.
Monday. Or something like that. But you stupid, though.
That
Maybe
makes a difference.
maybe it was Prime Day.
Like why we tripping? It is what it is. You're right.
It's still
So
Well,
she
yeah,
spent
right.
140K in one day.
40,000. It was like 33,000, and then it was like 4,000, then 5,000. Man, it was crazy.
Man, she
So
was
40
just clicking.
40,000.
She was
Fuck
she
is
was
you
like, buy
buying on
now, buy now,
Amazon
buy now,
40,000?
buy now.
Why now? Why now?
I can pinpoint the moment, and it was 96, I believe. The
Hmm.
moment when I said, if I ever have kids, they will not be listening to the radio. I
So
know the exact moment. I told you
wait, so you
this.
said
You ain't
why
lying,
96? Tell
boy.
me the moment.
It was when they set it off. Come on. That was 96, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
set up came out 96. Yeah.
Mhm.
Boy, Bone Thugs. They had a song on the
Yes,
soundtrack.
sir.
Days of Our Lives. I don't know if you remember.
Uh huh.
These are the days of our life. Yeah.
He literally sung the words, and maybe it's the wrong song, but he literally sung the words. That's the way you get them, man. Sneak up on them and you kill them, and they won't fuck with you no
Kill 'em,
more.
man.
He harmonized that.
No more. Yeah.
I'm being dead serious, bro. He
No, listen.
harmonized that,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yo, melodies and shit. You do music. Y'all niggas
Yeah.
know melodies are infectious. That shit
Right.
stick with people.
Yeah.
I'm never letting my kid listen to the radio, bro. If we're harmonizing that, and this is me in '96 saying this, like, no, that's not happening.
When you parallel what's going on now, when you listen to like a lot of the drill music scene in New York, they have heavy drill music scene in the Bronx, and I was listening to some of the kids, some of the music, and I was like, wow, it's different because I feel like when we were younger, the gangster music was more like narrating, making stories in a way.
Yeah,
Whereas now, these kids are actually like, yeah, I'm not only are they game banging, but they actually talking about killing each other, specifically killing each other, killing certain ops. And how do we
But
get here?
that all stems from, to your point, how the music has shifted. Back then, bro, it was like we had gangster narratives, but oftentimes a lot of that music had messages in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
There was morals in some of that shit. You know what I mean? Not everything, but some of it. But I don't
Yeah.
really hear that no more. Like it ain't about. I think it went from um uh being us trying to show what's happening in the streets to us really showing what we're doing in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like these
Right.
niggas, they literally snitching on themselves in rappers. Like that.
Literally.
I'll go on record
Literally.
too and say this: I don't feel bad for Young Thug.
Yeah.
I don't.
You
I
said
don't.
what?
I don't feel bad for Young Thug. I'll say
Well,
it.
you know what? Nah, you can't really feel bad because at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's on record. People are just literally snitching. He ain't even the first one. You know what I'm
If
saying?
you're literally telling on
Hell
yourself in
no.
lyrics, you kind of deserve, whatever comes
Yeah.
with that.
Yes, sir.
I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Another nigga from Florida got himself in trouble because he rapped about the murder that he did.
Yes, that's
And
the
it's like, yeah,
see.
nigga, you in prison. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's the name?
Killed his home.
Y and W Melly.
Why?
Oh, right, right, right,
Yeah,
right.
why?
Yeah.
Melly,
You know what happened?
yeah.
A people started to monetize it, so it became now people who are really in that lifestyle saw a way that's easy money. I can just I see a high rapper, I'm gonna jump on that, and you know what I mean, like, or they'll use that as we're gonna get out of whatever lifestyle we in. All that's fine, but here's the thing:
Right.
that in our era, along with anything else, we actually have to have talent, right?
Right.
You have to actually be good at doing it,
Right.
and now
Some of the time.
not so much. That's also the
Right.
problem.
Yeah, 21 Savage.
You don't really
Right.
need talent these days. All you need is, Fruity Loops. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you need some damn, you need equipment and the ability to
Yeah.
upload, and that's anybody can do it now. That's the beautiful thing about hip hop is anybody can
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
But the most fucked up thing about it is anybody can do
Everybody can do it. Right.
Anybody.
Right.
it. It's that's why everything's
And that's
garbage.
the music industry.
Hmm? What's that?
That's the music industry.
Yeah.
Yep. And that is the music industry right
Yeah, it
now.
used to be
Yeah.
kind of talent though. You had to at least know how.
Yeah. Shit, you don't even need no label now. You could be independent, have a cell phone, have Fruity Loops, and you good.
I
Man.
mean, like you said, B though, part of that is good, but I think it's interesting where the youth are. I was listening to this record. I forgot the kid's name, but it's some drill rapper. He's like 14, and he was just
Yeah,
talking about all these people he gonna kill, and suck my dick and my ops, and and he's talking, and I read under the comments. So the song came out a couple years ago, and I read the comments. They're like, man, it's too bad that he got killed,
yeah.
and I'm like, damn.
But you know what though? A
It's
lot of it is influencing. I'll give you an example. Y'all know Michael Irvin played for the Cowboys?
mm-hmm.
Used to. So apparently his son is rapping. Now Michael Irvin
Mm.
played the '90s. He played professional. Your son did not grow up in the hood.
Right,
Maybe Mike did. His son did not.
right,
So he was telling a story about how his
No.
son's rapping about all this hood shit and kill him and he's gonna do. It's like, yo, that's not your life. What are you talking about?
right,
That's the influence, though. They
right,
think that's what
Yeah.
will sell, and then you get that
Yeah.
into the youth who are already running around here with no guidance, and they're guided by the music. It's a
right,
recipe, man. That's what I'm saying. How it all trickles down. Like you got millionaire suburban kids making drill music. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And that's what he was talking about. He was telling his son like, "Yo, that's not you. What are you saying? You know what I'm saying?" So it all has it all relates. There's an effect to all this shit. So that's just it's where we are these days, man. It's the world.
Well, the drill music is literally like because they don't do long songs anymore. It's usually like one long verse or maybe
Nope.
two verses.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah,
drill
they like
music is
that.
like literally, I'm gonna kill niggas from the top of the song to the end of the song.
Yep.
Um, but you know what? Okay, so what would be the difference between? I'm just playing devil's advocate. Difference between a Spice One and a drill rapper. I know the difference, but I'm just wondering.
The difference, huh?
I think Spice was more. How can I say this?
Talented. nah,
Talented, yeah,
nah, I'm messing
definitely.
with you.
No,
I was
yeah,
about to
that's
say
that's
that
that's part
too,
of it.
but
But I think I
yeah.
think the drill rappers are more so making music with the purpose of taunting real life people.
Right.
Vice
So
and those
whatever.
people we grew up with, it was never maybe it was some truth to their stories. You never know, but
Yeah.
you couldn't link it back to a certain event or this happening. Whereas some of these drill songs, you can put
They literally. Yeah.
pinpoint everything that they're talking. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's more direct.
Right.
Mhm.
This with this drill stuff, it's more direct, and it's done with the purpose of taunting a particular set of people,
Which is crazy. It's
which is
it's,
crazy.
it's insane,
Mhm.
bro.
And now these
You
people
know,
now
the
have to
music is not
react
even
because they
organized.
could disrespect me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that
Man.
is.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even organized music either, man. Like back in the 90s, the shit was organized. It had an intro, man. It had a middle and it had an end. Now it was just like, yeah, man, I'm gonna kill these niggas, man. I got all the switches, bitch. All right, then. Then the next song, the same thing over and over again, man.
Bow, 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 bow.
And that's why niggas get tired, man.
That's the ad libs.
This is
We gonna
crazy.
kill little
I
Kev.
don't like none of
Kill little Kev. We gonna
that
kill
little
little
girl,
Kev.
man. No organization, bro.
Man.
I'm
It's
going
no
to the
question. You're
studio
absolutely
for
right.
what? What are you going to the studio for? The
Because we
talk?
gonna kill little Kev.
Look.
Oh
No,
man,
it
that's
got
right. That's right.
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
It it
gonna kill
and
Kev.
it's crazy because
Throwing up
you're right. You're
together,
right. They
man.
literally be rapping about either what they gonna want to do or what they already did, and
Yep.
Yeah.
it's kind of sad, man.
Yep.
It's really sad. So where do y'all think things started to change? Because I like for me, I feel like I say I don't want to be biased because we everybody always says their era is the best. If you ask most people, they say their
That's
era is
right.
the best. So I feel like the '90s may have been kind of the start of.
It was.
Now this
It
is
was.
what I think what happened. I think what happened is that it started to become where it was like, do you have no? Here's the first thing that used to be said. When you first start hearing people say, well, you rapping about that stuff, but you don't really be doing none of that stuff. And I feel like that conversation started in the '90s, and then slowly people started to kind of speak that into language, not necessarily in the raps, but just into the conversation. Like, yo,
Yeah.
but you don't really be you a studio gangster. You really don't be doing all that stuff. And I feel like that where it started to get dangerous. That was happening early as like the whole Dr. Dre Easy E time. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
became where it's like, oh, you're talking this stuff, but you ain't really doing it.
It
You
was
know?
the thirst for credibility, street credibility. Yeah, you wanted that respect. I think though you're right, but the shift happened musically. You think?
No, he was saying as far as the conversation, like changing the narrative about people feeling like, oh, I gotta be in the street, or I can't really rap about any of the stuff in the
I think
street because I'm not
I
doing
think
it.
I think people always kind of there was always somebody in the streets, but I think those people in the streets started to they decided to start using rap as a tool when they saw it as a financial vehicle, right? Maybe I can get out of
Mhm.
the streets by doing this, but you also bring in people with you who are still tied to the street. You know what I'm saying? There was
Yeah,
a point
yeah,
where it got away from music and became kind of a street type business, right?
yeah,
Um, so people who already were in a street lifestyle now saw this as a different hustle,
yeah,
and I think that probably shifted. I would say mid '90s is when it started to really start to happen.
I think mid-90s.
I would say mid '90s is probably when you start to see more people
Yeah,
come out of that street mentality and kind of move into music
yeah.
as they're chasing that dream of let's go get this music money. And then you have people who be like, well, I'm going to extort artists. You know what I'm saying? You had the Jimmy Henchmans and all the people who want to,
Well,
try
that's
to
true.
either manage artists or I'm going to extort this artist or they're going to take advantage that way. So you had people who it was always street shit
Right,
happen.
right.
Um,
We didn't know
but
about him
with,
back
with
then, though.
right,
But
but with technology,
Yeah, man.
with the internet, all this shit starts to come to fruition. So that's where trace
yo,
it back to the internet, bro. Like,
that's funny because you know what? It makes me think of World Star Hip Hop
mhm.
because when the change started, where here's the funny thing. I remember when World Star Hip Hop first came out. The change is
There
when
was a
you
lot of
started to
videos
get.
on there.
What'd you say, yo?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of music videos on there, man. A
Oh, it was
lot of
mad
them
videos.
started from that shit. Yeah,
But
yeah,
you
there was a
know
lot of them.
when they started with World Star and then Vlad started doing his early interviews
Yeah.
before he was like really Vlad TV. The worst thing you could do is give a camera to some hood dudes, because then
Mhm.
what happens is that
Mhm.
anybody come over to our block, we kill people over
Right.
here. Everybody gonna die. We bop 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 bop,
Yeah.
and everybody's throwing up their gangs. And the next
And
thing you
then you
know,
dead.
the
You
police
dead as hell.
the police
Yeah,
like,
no, you're
oh
right.
word.
You're all right.
The police like, oh, you can just sit back and watch all this evidence we're trying to capture. We can sit back and dial into the internet and watch it.
Yeah. Just
And watch.
Comfortability from our offices. We don't have to go out and patrol.
right there on
Yeah.
YouTube. It's right there.
Social media. Social media definitely be locking
They'll,
these niggas up
they'll,
though, man.
bro, they will put the whole damn street sign like, yo, this 72nd in Euclid.
Right, yo,
Right.
man, all right. I
Like, we
told y'all
out
niggas
here.
I was coming. Come over here now. Where y'all
Right.
niggas?
What you doing?
Dude, they be on camera getting murdered all the time, man.
Like,
That shit
dude,
crazy, man.
you just can't. I never subscribed to the theory of like making your moves known like that. If you gonna be on some shit, be on some shit. But you ain't got to. It's not for
But that
maybe I'm
wasn't
looking at it.
even that wasn't supposed to be part of music. Like you said, you always had street dudes that were around rappers, but
But you know what I
it
think, too?
wasn't.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off, but
Go ahead.
well, well, I had a thought. A
Hmm.
lot of that time, some of those artists who were rapping were being financed by street dudes too, and
Right,
they wanted more of their lifestyle portrayed in the music.
right,
So it may have gotten a little bit harder in that sense too, because now I need y'all. It's bro, get the fuck out the county. Like it's the you feel me? Like the
yeah,
influence of imagine somebody else being told something like that or something along those lines, and they go out and they do it. You know what I'm saying?
right, right,
But you got people who are not performers who are influencing what the performers are doing. That's
right.
why I use that example. And so
That's a good
Fuck
point.
that was a wild day.
that boy's stupid, man.
I'm being serious though.
But
Like
you know what? That's what I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
saying last week, though. Like last week, I was saying like, if you in Chicago, for instance, if you was gonna be a tough guy, you really had to be a tough guy because
mhm.
Yeah,
things
you
would
can't
really
fake
happen
that.
to you. You couldn't just be playing around.
Yeah.
And it kind of, you know what? It kind of freaked me out when I listen to some of the drill now, because I'm like, damn, 14, like 14. I couldn't imagine at 14. So when we were 14, I remember like, you know, back then, sometimes we didn't really have a style. We would like, I remember specifically B, I remember we were in the same homeroom. So I remember one day I was like, yo, I got a new style. I'm rapping like DJ Quick now. You know? He just start writing like somebody else, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case was. But it
Hey,
wasn't like
you had a heavy West Coast influence, bro. Like,
I had a heavy West Coast influence, but artistically I loved the West Coast, but artistically I loved everybody. But I couldn't imagine at 14 just talking about killing real life people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or just taunting. Like even people who was just starting to like gang bang and deciding they want to be part of certain gangs. I couldn't imagine
Right.
them making records like, yo, we about to shoot up the moles and do all this and
You know
G
why?
this, you
You
know.
know why? Because when we were 14, you wasn't allowed, not allowed, but the older, the OGs would not have let you do that.
No,
If we're
not at
gonna
all.
go do this, you're not gonna be making the records about it. You know what I'm saying? We
No,
just gonna ride out.
no,
So
not at
you
all.
wouldn't have heard nobody in our era do that because it would have been unheard of to people who were over them.
Right.
Ain't no OGs these days.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
nobody, you know what I mean? There's nobody who's saying, look, yo, don't say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
No,
what's
that's
happening.
true. That's very true. I mean,
That's
if
what's
I
happening.
had to look at the musically, I think the shift happened a lot later because I feel like we had an era in the '90s. So musically, I for me, and I'm sure maybe y'all might agree. To me, some of the best music, as far from all areas of the country of hip hop, was kind of between 91 and 96 maybe. There was some great music after that too, but I feel like in that era there was a lot of different types of styles before hip hop started to or rap music started to kind of consolidate into one particular type of sound or artist. I feel like we had
Yeah.
a lot of different types of variety to choose from during those
There
years.
was a
Good.
there was a time, and I'm speaking in terms of radio. And I'm thinking like 95, maybe 96 ish. You can kind of say that because I'm thinking about like, the Fugees and shit. But in 95, you can hear some gangster shit on the radio, and then you might hear Wu Tang, then you might hear Mad Skills, you might hear AZ. These are different
Arrested
type of
Development.
artists. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
By the time you got to like 98, you're not hearing like every artist has the same kind of message almost 98, 99.
Mhm.
When we get into that later part of the decade, the
Mhm.
message of those, it wasn't a balance anymore. We used to have a bit of a balance, and as
Mhm.
we got later into the decade, the balance kind of went, you know what I'm saying,
That was
towards,
a shift.
that was when
Yeah.
your shit started. If you think about
That
it,
I
think
see
about
that
Oh
too.
dear.
yeah, if
What
you
you
think
think?
about
Oh,
95, 96 is when you could hear anything on the radio and it was all the same subject matter.
facts.
After that,
Yeah.
bro, it kind of, yeah.
Mhm. I'll tell you why.
Go right ahead.
I was listening
Drop
to
it.
this man, I had this conversation a while ago too, man. All right, so Crazy Bone, right? He was doing an interview, man,
Oh,
and
I
it
know what
was
you said
supposed
that.
to be a private interview, man.
I know what you said that.
Yeah, and I was about to ask y'all, do y'all know what y'all? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. No, go ahead and
Crazy
tell me.
Bone.
I know
Yo,
what you're
yo,
talking about.
yo,
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Sue.
Yep.
Have you heard this interview yet?
Yes, sir. I know exactly what you're talking about. Go
Right.
ahead.
Now let me see if y'all can remember. So he was basically saying at one point it was a big ass motherfucking meeting, man, and it was with a lot of people that we all know. And a lot of people in there was basically listening to this one dude, man, and he was just basically talking about how they don't want no conscious rap no more. They don't want nothing positive. They want the masses to be influenced by bullshit, basically, in so many words. Influenced by bullshit. And so
Mm-hmm.
what B was just saying was right on it. It was like probably in the middle 90s, man.
Mm-hmm.
That meeting happened, man. And a lot of people was agreeing and some wasn't. They was like, oh no. But they didn't show it because they couldn't show it. But when they left, they're like, man, hell no, bruh. It was a big ass meeting. So I guess it was about a year or two later after that. No more conscious rap. Because, man, they had a list. No more this and no more that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, none of that shit going down. And then all this gangster shit started coming. And a lot of homosexuality started to come out too. That
Mm-hmm.
was what they wanted on the list, man. So they wanted all the masses to be gay, gangster ass shit, fucking and popping pills and shit. Because if y'all can't remember back in the day, the hip hop industry didn't really fuck with the weed though. They didn't fuck with no cocaine or none of that shit.
Mm-mm.
Now that shit popular as hell, man. So yeah, man, that shit started definitely in the middle '90s, man. That shit. And it's kind of scary to think about the industry, man, because we could have been involved in that shit, man. We would have probably got approached with some bullshit, bro. A lot of bullshit, man.
Listen. what what I'll say to that is you're absolutely right because you know the idea of signing or being affiliated with like a Bad Boy or something like that, or Diddy,
No Diddy.
back then would have been like, yo,
No Diddy.
that's yeah, exactly. We weren't thinking
Bruh.
no Diddy back then, you know what I'm saying? But it's
Yeah.
when you come to find out, when you start listening to all these stories with younger artists and things that apparently or allegedly happened, it's some craziness. But to your point about Crazy Bones story, I heard that from him, and I've heard about that meeting.
Yeah.
I think it took place in the middle '90s. I don't know if it was '94 or
Yeah.
'95,
I think
something
it was
like that. But
94 or 95, something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that makes sense to me.
It make
I think it
perfect
makes
sense to
sense.
me. As soon as he said it, I'm like, damn, it's lining up
I can
perfectly.
see it.
You right.
I
I
can
ain't
see
gonna
it
lie
too.
to you.
Yeah.
Typically when I hear someone tell a story like that, my first instinct is to be like, okay,
A
here's
little
a
skeptical. Yeah.
conspiracy. I was skeptical, but when he said it and he said the time period,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing that kind of hit me. I'm like, oh, you
You
know
think about
what?
when things change. Yeah.
I'm like, that does kind of make
Yeah.
sense
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because
Because I was waiting
they
for you to
got rid
ask
of
a
all
question
that
like that, and B
controversy.
started talking first. I'm like, oh, here it is. Yep. That was, man, that lined up perfectly,
Yeah.
man.
That's
Because remember
Yeah.
in the early part of the 90s, in the late 80s, and particularly in the early part of the 90s particular, there was
For
no
sure.
such thing as conscious rap. It didn't even exist. There was no
no.
conscious rap.
Yeah.
Like, here's the funny
No. It
thing.
was just
Yeah, I
like
mean, because
you
rap barely
had.
even made it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
literally
Rap
had
barely even
you
made
had
it in.
Public Enemy. You had BDP. You had Rockin', but it was just rap.
Yep.
It wasn't labeled.
Well,
Yeah.
Um.
if you take Ice Cube, who they considered a gangster rapper,
Yeah.
like Ice Cube was actually extremely conscious when you think about his music
Yeah, he was.
Mm-hmm.
compared to now.
Yeah.
Hella
Yeah.
conscious, you know. So
Yeah.
that's a good point. You know what I'm saying?
It was a
So,
wild time,
Yeah,
man.
but now it's all bullshit. Now it's all bullshit,
well, do
man.
y'all think that
Everybody.
that meeting for was to foresee all of where we at now? Kind of. You think that was
I
Yeah.
the vision?
if you want to
Yeah, man,
dive
they
into the
plan and
conspiracy
worked out
theory of it,
well.
if you want to go into the conspiracy theory of it, bro, then it the people, if somebody has that kind of influence to shift the way music is recorded, thereby shifting the culture into a certain direction, they have an agenda for that. So now you're looking at who really owns these labels, who's powerful enough to do that.
Uh-huh.
What else do they own? Now we're
Uh-huh.
looking at the prison industrial system. Do they own private prisons?
Uh-huh.
Because
Right.
there's an
There
agenda
you
to
go.
get these things in line with what they want. There's a reason for that. And it's all gonna come back to something monetary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So if we really
Well,
want
Yes.
to dive into that, then yeah, that's there is an agenda there, and it's probably
Yeah.
it's paid off for them.
Yo, B. So you be watching videos too? You be watching YouTube too?
Do I watch YouTube?
Yeah.
You because you
Because a
breaking
lot
up,
of
my
that
bad.
shit is on there.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
I
Yep.
mean,
Because all of that is on there.
I'm just saying, like, yeah,
Yeah. Because you right.
yeah.
You right.
I'm just
Yep.
saying if I'm putting some logic to it. If somebody's powerful enough to say this is what we're gonna do from now on, I
There
don't
you
want
go.
nobody else making this type of music, or I don't want this kind of music to um, be promoted. Right? We want to promote
There you go.
this type over here
This
and make
and
that
this.
the
Yeah.
the dominant genre of or subgenre of this music. Then
Mm-hmm.
there's a monetary thing happening there, that will make them push that agenda. You know what I mean?
Yep.
well, you
Yeah,
know what?
prisons is privately owned, boy.
That's
Prisons is
actually
privately owned.
that part of it, bro, is really where I started to believe it too. Because when you talk about the prisons, I was like, okay, when you put the pieces together, yeah, you have music, you have influencing people to do crime, but essentially the last part of that is that we're gonna fill up them jails, and
Mm-hmm.
Fill them all the way up, boy.
but
Yep.
Yeah.
that's the whole conversation of how influential is music. And I'll be honest, as an artist, we all artists. I know, speaking for myself personally, for a long time I was kind of in denial that music influenced music influenced the actions of kids in the street. I was very in denial of that for a long time because of the music I listened to. I listened to some very bad music. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
I appreciated the
Yeah.
art of it though. It wasn't like it's interesting to me because like if you take the West Coast music, I used to listen to a lot of you know I used to listen to a lot of CMW and
MCA.
Spice One and DJ Quick and all that good stuff and all the West Coast stuff. But what I liked about the West Coast music, it wasn't so much, and I don't know if people process music the same. So I had to realize like I like the artistic part of the beats and the way people put stuff together. But I had to say, you know what? Everybody don't look at it like that. And a lot of kids,
Yeah.
the way they look at stuff, how they process it. And also as I got older, I learned about vibrations, different vibrations people on. So people speaking to a real low vibration, I'm like, and you know what? I'll be honest with you. When I started to really understand that is when I started to look at not our music so much, but I started to look at like the newer rap, not ratchet, but the newer like drill and I would say kill music. All the
yeah,
stuff that was like,
Mhm.
I started saying to myself, damn, you know what? These kids, when you go back to like the Chief Keef area and all that stuff, and I'm like, you start listening to think about the fact of what they fill in their brain with constantly. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And you don't even have a balance, like y'all said, as far as just a balance of different types of music. That you just
Yeah,
kill,
different
kill,
type of
kill,
genres.
kill, 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 drink, 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 fuck, fuck, fuck. And it's like,
Yeah.
man,
That's true
Pop
though, man.
pills, do perks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Damn. You know what? You're
Mine
right.
was
Because when you
Percocet.
really think about it, how like UMBA used to like listen to music like all the time. Like, say for example, if y'all cooking or ironing, taking a shower, y'all was always like having music playing. Me, man, I never really did that. I just got in the shower and then yeah. But y'all used to always do that, right? So if you really think about it, how like the Chief Keef ass niggas be doing it, that's all they listen to,
Yeah,
bro. Like we had genres and shit, man.
but
They
I,
just got drilled.
here go the thing too, bro. And I'm gonna use your brother as an example. Like
For sure.
your brother listened to some of the wildest shit. Your brother put me on gangster nip, bro. Like,
Case in-
you know what I'm saying? Some of the wildest shit you've ever heard in
Yeah.
your life.
He was on some
But
Texas shit. Yeah. Yeah.
but the difference was like we wasn't we knew we were listening
Yeah, I
to
mean,
entertainment. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't listening
yeah.
to a real life story about a dude that
Hmm.
found somebody's head behind Walgreens. You know what I'm saying? We knew that didn't really happen.
Bro.
So what I'm saying is that like these kids nowadays, I don't know what.
It's
Maybe we
true.
were different. Maybe we just I don't know. Maybe it was just us. But we heard it, but we didn't think like let's go act it out.
Yeah,
Let's go
right,
live this life.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
To
It was
ride
never
down
that.
on these foods.
right.
Like
Right.
like
Well,
I tell you, he used to do some wild shit, bro. Like yo, what the?
but
Bruh.
see that's the part though. That's the part that's so weird because it's like, does the music really do that, or did society just change? Maybe both are true,
I
but
think it's a little bit of both. I think the
Yeah,
as
bro.
the music got a little bit grimier as a reflection of society, but it also then influenced other people in society to kind of go down a certain route. Like you said, bro, you would listen under for the artistic value of some shit, but somebody else may not be listening for that same thing. Hey,
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about
right,
the intro to what's that Chief Keef song, Love Sosa. You see how passionate that dude was on that one intro, bro? If
yeah,
these niggas Chief Keef, man, like they ready to ride for some like you know what
they
I'm saying?
ready, yeah.
He was dead
I know,
serious about
right?
that. So that's just
Well, you
they
know
heard it
what
a different way, bro.
you know another example. I was watching. Now I didn't know this guy personally, but I knew a few people who knew him. Bump J.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
Bump
yeah,
J's like our age, right? So around the
Mhm.
time we was still doing it, Goon Squad was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Um, and I was watching an interview with him, and he was saying that one of his regrets is that when he got into the game. Now, Bum J was talented. I mean, Bum J had some joints and he could
Yeah, he
rhyme.
was.
Bum J is
But
probably the one of the he should have. I wish he didn't get locked up. He would have been
I
so
man,
yeah.
it kind of hurt me that he got locked
Yeah,
up
that's
too
true.
because
He was actually if we're going if we're looking at like if there was a pecking order like before Lupe, Bump J should have
right,
been. He
right.
was the one that should have been. It was
Mhm.
like
He was right
it was
behind
his spot.
Kanye,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
behind Ye.
It was his
Yeah.
spot, and then he got locked up. But yeah,
But what he was saying is that you know, so what he was saying, I didn't know it at the time, but he was saying that because I didn't really know Goon Squad as far as the internals, but he had clicked up. They were all different gangs. They was folks. I think he was a folks H, but he had
Yeah, he
CDs
was
in
tough.
there, BDs, all the gangs. Again,
yeah,
apparently he had them all clicked up. But what he was saying is that it happens all the time. He was saying over time, like when they were going to shows and they were going to do stuff, they were wilding on people. They was robbing people, beating people up, and
yeah.
all that stuff. He was kind of seeing rap as just another lick. So he had got like a mill, I think, from Atlantic,
That's
and
what
I
I was
think he
there.
thought he saw it as a lick. So
Yeah,
he didn't really value it until he got dropped and all that stuff. And then eventually I didn't know about this at the time. He robbed like a Chase or something like that,
yeah,
um, and then ended up going to jail. But it was sad because he was so talented. But I bring it up to say that he was pre the Chief Keef era, obviously, but he was talented, but had a lot of violent stuff around him. And it's interesting because the street cred is it does help you as far as doing music, as far as rap music. But at the same time, it's like when you take it so far, it gets to a point where it's like you can't even do the art. You can't even rap because everything becomes you know about violence in real time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that part of it is kind of it's interesting just to see the evolution because I wouldn't even describe like a Bump J. He wasn't what I would describe as musically all violent. Musically he was talented, but I feel like after that era, really after that era and after Lupe comes the Chief Keef era. And by the
yeah,
time the Chief Keef era comes for Chicago, you basically just have just straight, these little kids is wild and these kids is ready to shoot
mm,
on sight, period, just
Mhm.
because,
yep,
you know. And that just became and that became I don't know if they invented drill music, but I believe that they did because all the little kids from what I understand in New York, the Takashi 6 9s and all them, they all birthed from that whole drill
yeah,
era.
yeah.
They birthed from that. So that all started in
You can
Chicago.
directly link it back to Keith. I would say, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
In terms of drill,
Yeah.
you can go back to Keith.
Yeah.
Um,
And not blaming
Mhm.
him personally, but I'm just saying that,
right.
when you look at it, it's like where the shift came where it got so violent to the point where these kids can't a lot of them barely survive in a year or two and they end up getting killed,
Yeah.
so you know
Mhm.
but so y'all think the meeting was a plan a long time ago to kind of get us to this point.
Hell yeah.
Um, if
Yeah.
if if that meeting happened, because I don't. I mean, I've heard the stories, but to me, I guess to me, it's still a little bit of skepticism. Because you
Yeah,
never know. But
yeah.
if it happened, then we are where they wanted us to be. That's what
Mhm.
we are. So it worked.
All right. Oh, that shit worked like a charm,
Hmm.
man. It's like I don't it's like I know like a whole lot of people be thinking that, the world just consists of people just waking up, going to work and coming home and shit. But it's a lot deeper than that, bro. People out here is like really gunning to make the masses really be dumb as hell, man.
Hmm.
Especially these rich motherfuckers, man. So like the record labels is a perfect place for them to actually fuck up the world because music is huge, man. So they know that the masses will get influenced, and so that's why they want all this conscious rap and shit about strong black people to die out, and now it's all this bullshit to lock all motherfuckers up and then make us be all gay and shit, man. Because like, yo, I mean, it's so deep. It's like they don't want the black culture to keep on producing and overpopulating the world. So if you gay, well, you can't impregnate the female eggs, nigga. So you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean,
Well,
they
you
got
just
like
probably
this
want to enjoy
big
it.
ass.
You say B?
You can. You just probably want to enjoy it, but you technically can.
It's
You
possible,
stupid,
but
You
man.
have the
But yeah,
ability. You just don't want to do it.
yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah.
you
But
know
yeah,
what?
I mean,
But that's a
they
great
be,
point. Oh, no, I was just saying that's a great point because let's keep it funky though too. Like the homosexuality in hip hop did become it became like some of the stuff we see now, like in the '90s, like bro, you couldn't even have tight pants in the '90s, bro.
Bro, remember when it was like I don't know if I remember because I
hell
was
no.
it was like a big mystery in the '90s. Like who's the gay rapper? You know what I mean? Like it was a
Yeah,
thing, and you motherfuckers was trying to figure
big
out because
mystery.
there was nobody who was openly out. But
Exactly.
fast forward to all this time later, they're like it's 1,000 of them,
Ooh,
bro. Like it's not
ooh.
even like I don't know. Hip hop is kind of homophobic in a sense. Traditionally, hip hop was homophobic.
Wait. Before you go there, now that's a talking point I've heard before. So, who are the gay rappers in the '90s? Because no, now obviously we're probably going to have to go with Mr. Combs. I understand that, but
Well,
Oh,
obviously
sure, yeah.
now we know that now we know that now.
Now, yeah.
But in the '90s,
So
nobody was going to come out and say that they Latifah
nobody came out, right? Yeah,
Latifah that's it. That's it. But
yeah.
she
well,
didn't even say it. You know what I'm saying? Like she
nah.
didn't say
Yeah, she
it.
didn't even say it
It was just
though.
like
She ain't even say it.
we kind of like knew, but it was like you don't
Well,
even.
yeah. You talking about the females? I mean, we kind of assumed. I kind of
So
assumed Light and Latifah. I assume that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's
But
kind of a given.
what I'm saying
I
is that
just
like
found out about one dude.
Who?
I just found out about one of my favorite rappers,
Who?
man. Nigga Busta Rhymes, bro.
I
No.
He in that too.
it,
He
No.
in that too, man.
I
Wait.
I
Whoa.
seen
listen.
multiple videos.
Oh, I've heard people say that, but I don't know. I don't have any hard soil evidence, so I'm not gonna ever say.
Wait. Whoa. Where do we get the
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes thing from? I need to understand this. What did you hear?
There's people. Well,
So
that's just people telling. I would say telling their version of different truths. I
yeah,
guess. I mean, that's, I'm trying to.
from
I'm
back
trying
in
to.
the day, shit leading up to now too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not
So
telling
it's
me.
like a
That's
lot
not
of
telling me
people.
enough. B.
No.
Oh.
So yeah,
Take
it's
over
like
this
a
one.
lot of niggas. Stupid. So a lot of niggas like that's been within these camps, like Sean Puffy Combs camp and Busta Rhymes camp.
Yeah.
People that like used to work in the camps and shit.
Yeah,
So they
used to
coming
work
out like,
for them,
yeah, well,
security,
since
ex
all
security, ex
yeah,
employees. They're talking.
yeah.
They're doing interviews
So
now and saying certain stuff.
yeah, a lot of them
I
too.
saw
So
one
yeah,
where
so,
I forgot who it was, but the dude was talking about Buster, and he was talking about how like if they when they went to clubs or whatever, like Buster had it was a few you know requests that he had as
yeah,
far as who
I
could be in
seen
his
that one too.
section.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
Yeah.
requested allegedly was requesting more
Fun
some
boys.
males in his section. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, so Buster called them fun boys. Yeah.
yeah,
He
yeah.
called them fun. Yeah.
And I say allegedly because again, we don't know any of this for sure. I ain't trying to
Oh
get
yeah,
sued,
I mean,
but that's what's being reported.
I'm pretty
Um,
shocked.
bruh.
I'm shocked.
so, but
Yeah,
I don't know
man.
how
The
true it
shit
is.
is coming.
Some of that could just be people who were used to work with artists or whatever and was fired
Right.
or let go from that position. They just want to make a name for themselves. So you don't know
Yeah.
what's what these days, but stories are starting to come out about
Now,
this type of shit.
yeah. And now to BA's point, that's totally true. Whew, but at the same time, man, it's like Yeah, I mean,
You don't know what to
that's
believe
that's like
anymore.
a pretty
Yeah.
yeah, that's an elaborate story though too, man. Multiple stories though now, man.
So if we hear multiple
Nasty, man.
multiple elaborate stories where there's smoke, there's fire, basically.
Yeah, I hate even talking about it because you know what I'm saying, dude. You know that's my dude, but
That
man,
was your favorite rapper.
man, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah.
I remember when you and another kid I used to go to school with, I forgot his name, but he died in a car accident when we were in um
Damn.
I don't know, in high school, sophomore year or something, but he used to love Busta Rhymes, like serious love Busta. This is before he went solo. He used to love Leaders of the New School. Love. So
Ah, okay,
he's turning in his grave right now. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy, crazy.
okay. Well, you
So
know what? Honestly, yo, that's probably a lot of gay dudes that we don't even think was gay. Like I didn't think Meek Mills was getting smashed by Puff, bro. That
wait,
shit
wait,
shocked the shit out of me, man.
wait. Now here's the other thing. Now that's I don't know what to believe anymore. So what did you hear about Meek Mill? Because I had never heard anything about Meek Mill.
What? Yo, B, come on,
Yo,
man.
man,
I
don't
know
get me
you
to
know
talking
this.
on a podcast about people. I don't.
I don't know,
I,
bro. It's this audio out,
you know,
and it's getting passed around,
you hear
and it
things.
was,
Well, you know what?
yeah.
When we're done, I'll clip in when y'all talk about. I'm gonna just clip in video of it in editing
Video.
Oh, cool.
Whoa,
Yeah, because
whoa, whoa.
it's definitely on the internet.
because I'll find it.
What's up?
Yeah,
No,
there's a lot of
B.
rumors. There's a lot of rumors. Um,
Oh yeah.
I don't think
So
anybody
yeah, it's
knows anything
audio
for
clip.
sure. It's just people talking, and that's why I don't like to feed
right.
into rumors because it's just uh, until somebody comes out with hard soul evidence, then what can you say? But if you look at a guy like, for example, a Stevie J,
Yeah.
there might have
He's
been
in there
evidence
too.
there.
Listen, some people. You know what? This is what I'll say. This is what I'll say. I agree with you. I don't always like to jump to conclusions because that's typically the first thing. If someone wants to disrespect a straight man, the first thing they're gonna do is be like, "Yo, you're gay," or they know it's gonna mess up your reputation. But there's some people who have a slithery vibe about them. They have
Yeah,
a slithery bisexual type of probably
did y'all
does
see the
anything.
Stevie J thing?
I didn't see it.
What's
I
up?
don't even know what you're talking about. But Stevie J seemed like he would probably be like that though.
So,
So does
so
Puff.
Stevie J, when Puff's thing was happening, apparently there was like some footage or something that was leaked from like something that was taken from his house, one of the tapes taken from his house. I
Yeah.
could be, but
Yep.
anyway, um, it was like a still picture of Stevie J allegedly, you know, smashing some dude. And
Right.
it's funny because 50 Cent posted it on his Instagram when the story first came out, and he was 50's trolling, talking
Yeah,
his shit,
always.
and
Yeah.
then and you can look this up. Stevie responds to 50, but he never refutes the allegations. His
Mm.
response is
Yeah.
run a fade. Let's fight me. Since you know what I'm saying, you talking,
Yeah.
come
I
fight
seen
me.
that one too. Yeah.
But he never said that's not me in the video. That's not
Yeah.
me
And
doing that. None of that. It was never a definitive. What the fuck is that? That ain't me. It was,
yeah.
bro. Let's fight
See.
then. Let's fight since you want to say something. And that's always a red flag to me, bro. If you ain't even gonna say
Yeah.
nothing about the
Facto.
situation, you
Facto.
jump right to I want to fight you for talking about it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
seems that to me that's a little guilt. You're a little guilty there. But
No, that's true.
when you get a
Yeah,
chance
man,
to
that
look it
nigga
up,
me.
it's
Yeah, that
it's
nigga.
it's it, it's it,
Yeah.
you can see the face looks like Stevie J. But
That nigga Meek didn't even deny it either, man. It's like that's where
he
all
did.
these
He did.
I like I
No,
didn't
Meek
I
Meek
ain't I ain't,
Meek
I ain't seen
denied
nothing
it.
about that.
Meek denied it. He
Yo, man.
tweeted some shit to deny it, but Stevie didn't.
Yeah, I
Stevie
mean,
didn't say
I
that
see.
wasn't me.
Yeah,
Stevie was
yeah.
like, let's fight
So
here.
yeah, all these allegations is coming out because of what B said. It's like since the FBI is, in investigating this nigga, all these tapes that they find and it's coming out, and it's a lot of people on them tapes, man. Because of course, Puffy having the parties,
Right.
and there was a lot of people there, man. Even Kevin Hart is involved in it now,
Man,
man. So now his wife left his ass.
I be thinking
His
God
wife left him,
I be
man.
thinking God we didn't get the record deal sometime. I would be like, man,
Boy,
we
you
were so
already
close to
know,
getting the
man.
deal. I'm like, maybe it's
Hey,
good we didn't get a deal.
you know what? You know what kills me? I be looking at artists like from our era, right? Who sign these deals, and then years later they're talking about how fucked up the deal was and how they got fucked in their contract, right? And then like I'll see an artist who is from the era right after that, and they saying the same story. It was like you didn't learn from the people in front of you to look at your deal, your contract that you signed. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
rappers have been
Mhm.
telling this story for years. How did you miss all of that and
Long
just
time.
jump right into a shitty contract? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you
I
know
want to
what?
tell.
No, go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you
No,
finish your thought,
go
but
ahead, go ahead,
I
go ahead.
got a good reply to that.
No, I just think it's real odd that people don't even you don't learn from history, bro. Like
Well, you know what, this is what I say, and I don't know if I'm saying this in defense of artists, but one of the things I learned when I moved here, because when I moved here, so when I moved here, it was 05, right? So this is right before YouTube came out. I think YouTube came out 05, 06. So what's interesting is that when I moved here, the culture, because when I moved to this area, New York, New Jersey, but we're mainly talking about New York. New York, actually, the artists here were a lot like we were in Chicago. So we were used to getting signed and getting a deal. But what's the reason why I bring it up is that time period is when the South start really taking over. So what I noticed is that the culture in the South, they were their whole self determination and the way they went about getting their deal was totally different than art northern artists, right? So I think to answer your point, B, the reason why those deals became continuously bad is because artists were always signing from a place of desperation or a place of no leverage. And
okay,
when I realized, like, when you start seeing '05, you start seeing the Mike Jones and the Slim Thugs and all these people from the South. Um, these people came into the game a lot different. They literally were selling out of the trunk and literally were booking their own shows and doing all these things. And if you remember, like, what we were doing towards the latter half of our thing, we were starting to catch on to that too. And we were starting to say, okay, how much can we do ourselves? You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I think that whole culture in the South, they really laid the blueprint of being independent artists, and they actually really had bread. Maybe they weren't millionaires, but some of them might have been millionaires, 100,000aires, and then they went to the table to get a deal in a whole different perspective. So I thought that was an interesting time period because what I noticed is that the artists in New York started to get salty at the South because there was mad artists up here that couldn't get a deal, and you start realizing like, yo, they're like, dude, move some units first, or do this or do that first, because those
Yeah,
artists in the South were doing it. But that's just a
you gotta
little
have a
South saying,
movement.
you know.
Gotta have
But
a movement. Yeah.
gotta have movement. But back to the homosexuality in hip hop, right? So I think that is something that has definitely become more and more prevalent. And do y'all think that was also a plot, or you think that's just something naturally that dudes is just becoming more?
I
Yeah, that's
honestly
always fly.
I don't know if it was a plot, bro. How can I say this? I think with the internet, it was a natural progression. Like, and as the world changed and people didn't have to kind of hide their own truth anymore, and people became more accepting of that lifestyle, that it was going to be a natural progression. Like, I think it was going to happen no matter what, where it became kind
You don't
of
if you don't get
overt.
that if you don't get that PC bullshit out of here, get out of here
I'm,
with that.
I'm giving you the
Yeah.
real shit. Like,
I
it
bet,
was
I bet.
going to happen no matter what. Maybe not on like your. I don't think. Okay, all right, how can I say? I don't think Diddy would have ever admitted any of this shit that he's accused of, right?
True
But what I'm
that.
saying is
True that.
that these younger artists, a little Nas X, would have happened at some point, right? Because the internet is going to it gives people an outlet. Now people are going to catch on to that, and now you have a fan base. You know what I'm saying? And those artists like that who are not afraid of kind of being living in their own truth and being who they are, they were going to happen no matter what, bro.
But
We
you know
just
what?
in our era, it wasn't accepted. It was frowned upon.
Okay, I'm. Oh, what's your? What's your point? I'm gonna push back on that.
Yeah, when it happened before the internet, the lead dude from African Bombata was he was definitely doing his thing, man. It's sad because I
But
liked him, man.
was that known
It
though?
was
Was it
No, that
like
yeah, I think that wasn't that came out later, but I think
it was
people
none of that was known? I'm talking about they're walking in the door like this is
right.
me. You know what I'm saying?
What?
And nobody
Well,
was doing that
oh,
in
you
our era.
talking about prevalency, like oh, okay, got you.
Like
Yeah,
how
yeah,
yeah.
just
he
Oh
outwardly
talking
no,
about
no,
open.
coming
yeah,
in the
yeah.
game. But
Got you.
unless I'm ignorant of it. Besides Little Nas X, wait, did you call this guy Little Nas X?
I never call this nigga Nas, bro. That's not his name.
I,
There's only one Nas. Don't disrespect Nas. Don't do that.
no, I peeped that. I peeped that. I said, why didn't he say Nas? I'm like,
Yeah. I never say Nas when I talk about that nigga.
you
There's
can't do it.
Nas and there's Nas, and we ain't
Little
gonna
Nas,
confuse the two.
little
Little
Nas X.
Nas.
But outside of him, is there anybody else who came into the game like, yo, oh, him and Tyler the Creator? Well, no, yeah, I think Tyler the Creator came out later.
Tyler
I just,
came, yeah.
uh,
Tyler's kind of he didn't come in as overt, but he didn't necessarily hide it when you know what I'm saying as it came up.
right.
Um, but and I fuck with Tyler. Pause. I like Tyler's music. But you can put him in that category because he is
Yeah,
I want to say bi or Tyler's
right.
just a different kind of person, bro. He'll like you ever watch his Funk Flex freestyle?
no,
No.
no,
Damn,
no.
no.
All right, if you can watch it, because he's really just saying shit just to kind of get under Flex skin. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
You know what I did?
he's saying kind of homosexual type shit, but he's saying it
Yeah.
looking at Flex like, how you gonna react? You know what I'm saying?
Like, how you
Tyler's
gonna?
hilarious.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna check that out.
He's
I'm gonna check that out.
hilarious.
Yo,
Flex
yeah,
is like,
because he
look,
kept
Flex is
pausing,
like, why
man,
you go
and
with
then
that?
look
Why
at
would
him.
you say that? So, but no, to my point,
Yo, big thanks, man, because I forgot about that.
yeah, nigga, this shit is hilarious.
Oh, man.
But he's an example of Frank Ocean, another person who's just
Frank
openly.
True.
Ocean,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a number of different examples. I don't know them all, obviously, but
Well, Frank Ocean is well, he's more of a singer, so I think singers can come in the
yeah.
game a little bit, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is that
But I feel you.
there's a number of examples of people who are just outwardly open with their say. The Saucy Santana dude. That's another one.
Who?
Saucy Santana, bro.
Saucy Santana. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not aware of a saucy Santana.
I got a teenager in my house. I know all these
Okay.
names.
Right, yeah.
There's a bunch of them that are just outwardly open with their sexuality now,
With it.
and it's not so it would never have happened like that in our era.
Nope.
You know
Hell
what I'm saying? That's just
Well, you know
what
what?
it is. But
Lately they've been catching lately they've been coming out with these pictures of people in outfits. Like I know I think one of Buster's outfits looked a little weird
mhm.
recently.
Yeah.
And then Most Def did something that I didn't like. I didn't like that picture with Most Def that Most Def did, but he's one of my favorite artists, so I just take it as
That
Most is
nigga
just
beast, man.
Yeah,
Most is
most of
Most.
them
He's one of
nice.
my favorite
Yeah.
rappers, so
Beast,
but
man. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe some of it might be just fashion. Um, I know Pharrell wore some weird stuff before too, but Pharrell's also just weird too. He's just
Yeah.
weird in his own way, but you know, but,
Listen.
but Pharrell been from what I heard, Pharrell been knocking them down back in the day. Um, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, I heard he was knocking down Khalees, but it's neither here nor there. So what do I
You
know?
say
I wasn't
Khalees?
there. That's what I heard, but
I wouldn't doubt. You know
Man,
what? Honestly, I wouldn't doubt it. I've never heard that till right now, but it makes sense. She was on Neptune when she first came out, so
Yeah.
she was
so
signed to.
was,
I mean, just
yeah.
whatever his label
Yeah.
was, Star Treks. She
Well,
was signed to.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
she's grown
Star Trek.
into she's grown into a healthy young woman. You should check out her Instagram when you get a chance.
I'm not commenting on
Neither here nor there. I'm married. I'm just saying, y'all should check it out.
I'm just saying.
that. Say what?
Anywho, yeah. Hmm.
I
But
can't.
yeah,
My nigga,
it's interesting. So it's more homosexuality or so here's the thing. So the whole aspect of demasculating or emasculating men, I think a lot of people have been talking about that with hip hop. So do you feel like that was also a goal, or like you said, it's just natural progressions of you know
I don't know if
that
that.
stuff
So
happening?
personally, I don't think. I think that goal was more so done. Circling back to the beginning of the conversation through film. You
Mm,
had a lot of men, black men specifically, wearing dresses. You know what I mean? Like that. We went through an era of that. So I
yep,
think
that's
that,
part of it. Yep.
yeah, that is where you started to see that agenda take place.
you know
You
what
know,
though? Here's what's interesting though. Well, go ahead. Oh, was you gonna say something?
Yeah, that's just FYI for the masses, man. Like I don't really care. I'm not homophobic, period, man. So I don't want people to think that, man.
Right.
We're talking about the industry as a whole, period. So yeah, that's part of it, man. They want the black man to be humiliated. That's part of the whole I don't want to use that word, but that's part of the plan. Yeah, to like you say, to demasculate or emasculate men. Yeah, us, not just men. Period. Us. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's definitely part of it, man. So
Hmm.
that's why they trying to make the whole homosexuality thing popular now, because back then it wasn't popular. Period. Now they're trying to make it extremely popular and make it regular. There it is. They trying to make it regular so that people can come out and be like, yeah, I'm gay. That's what it is now, man. So yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
that's definitely the plan, man.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, when we were growing up, though, I do agree with the whole men wearing skirts and everything too, and dresses. But I think that I didn't really think about that when we were growing up so much with Jamie
Yeah,
Foxx
yeah.
and stuff like that. I didn't really,
All right, because it was funny.
you know what I'm saying? I didn't
Yeah.
really see them as less masculine per se. It didn't really hit me like that. What I saw I don't know what I saw, which I think is uh might be changing or people are addressing it. What I did see a lot of male simping when we were growing up. I did see a lot of males being apologetic for everything. We lived through an era, we had a long era, and this may be a whole nother conversation, you know what I'm saying? So maybe we can save this for another one. But we had a lot of simping. Remember in the Cosby show, Cliff was like, when Elvin had whenever he wanted to say something to Sandra, you put your hands back, and you know what I'm
Oh,
saying, like it was like, so we
classic,
did a lot of
classic.
apologizing for about 30, 40 years for everything that, you know, just being a man was
Okay.
just being a man is wrong.
bro,
Mm.
bro. If you fast forward to now and you just scroll through the internet, yeah, yeah, we're back in that space. It's just being a man is
Well,
it's a terrible
thank God
place to
for the
be.
thank God
Hmm?
for the internet. We actually have some. No, my bad. I was just saying that. Thank God for the internet. We having some pushback now, and men are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not gonna be apologetic all the time for everything just for being a man. So that probably is a whole nother subject, which I would love to get into too, because I think that that's what I saw growing up. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was cool. Maybe it was justified at the time, making up for the 60s and 70s, but now it's become overkill now. So I kind of feel like, you know, Men can be look if you're gay, you're gay. Like that's not really the issue for me personally.
Right.
If that's what you get, if you're gay, you're gay. But I think if you're a man, there's nothing wrong with just being a man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like
Right.
if you're a man, I wear my little tight shirts. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there's a certain level of it's got to be manly enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't be wearing
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that's like extra questionable. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's my whole thing. So you can be on your sexy dex thing if that's what you want to do, but you gotta you gotta have like some limits. Well, not really sexy dex, because sexy dex was he was gay, but poetic justice.
yeah.
But
Yes.
but but you could be on your sexy vibe. That's what you want to be on, but there gotta be some limits. So I kind of feel like if you're straight in hip hop, and if you do have a straight male, I kind of feel like I feel like they kind of push it through fashion sometimes. They try to get dudes to wear stuff that's supposed to be fashion, but is a little bit like
Mm,
I don't know. For me, it's a little like I'm not wearing a kilt. I'm just not gonna wear a kilt because it looks like a
Yeah.
skirt to me. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna do it. I don't care if it's
Well,
Scottish or Irish. I'm not Scottish or Irish, so we don't do that. I'm not mad at it, but
but Jermaine Dupri did it. Jermaine Dupri did it.
yeah, but you know what though? It's certain. I'm with you, Sue. It's certain things I'm not going to do for the sake of fashion. I'm just
yeah,
Exactly.
not going to do it.
Exactly.
You know,
Not at all.
and I think you got dudes out here wearing dresses and like who where in my childhood did I ever see a dude in my real life, in my actual
yeah,
life,
right,
walking around with a dress on? Like it wasn't
right,
happening.
Exactly.
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. And
Like so,
fashion wasn't an excuse for that type of stuff. Like I don't care
Right.
if you're gonna come with some fashion, it's got to be something cool, and it's got to be something a man will wear because
bro. Even in the late '70s, early '80s, when dudes wore some questionable stuff, you know what I mean? I'm talking about with the V cut, with the chest, the
yeah,
little taco meat out. Like it was some questionable things out there. It was
Mm,
never dresses. You know what I'm saying?
That would- yeah, those were
They had the
manly for the
butterfly
times.
cuffs
yep.
and like they was dressed
Yeah,
like
yeah,
who superheroes, bro. Like it was never a
yeah. Yep.
dress. It's never
It
a
was
But
never
that
a
dress.
was a
And
good
dress.
point, B.
somehow we
That was a good point. Because Prince, he wore all that, but he never wore a damn
never
dress
wore a
though.
dress.
Never.
Facto.
Coolest nigga
I
ever.
was just about to say Prince. I was gonna say he is the only man on earth that could wear a black and high heels and it's okay and no one looks at him as
Bitches
gay.
wear
But
that nigga.
Prince did not wear a dress.
Never wore a dress.
Never.
He did wear pants with his ass out, but he never wore he never
Yeah.
So
wore a
so
dress.
Fine.
so somewhere along the lines, we got to the point where somebody thought, "Hey, it's okay." And again, I'm not. I'm moving away from. Not so much. I ain't talking about movie roles anymore. I'm just talking about like
Yeah.
in fashion, where somewhere along the line they said, "Hey, I'm a dude, but I'm gonna put this dress on. I'm gonna kill him out there in this." No, I I don't
Yeah.
get that. You know what I'm saying? And that's never been okay to me. And that's not a sexuality thing. That's just a fashion choice thing. What's the problem? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So,
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it is a fashion thing, but it's also a sexuality thing because I kind of feel like, well, if you're not, I feel like people know what they're doing, and I kind of feel like, bro, there's
Yeah.
certain
I know what
limits,
they
like,
doing.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Oh, I feel like they know what they're doing, and I kind of feel like they be trying to push certain things off on fashion and see, well, okay, how far can we push it with this artist? And if this artist put this on, then it'll be okay for other people.
Yep.
Because you gotta look at it and say, you know what? For me, it's certain things my son ain't gonna wear. I'm not having that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So, you know, look, we live in a society now to me where it's like you got to be able to say where you stand. I'm not homophobic either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, but I also feel like at the end of the day, you gotta know where you stand and just be like, cool. You know what? There's certain things that are for boys and certain things are for girls, man. Like, you know.
All right,
Well, you
boys.
know,
Yeah,
do the damn thing. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Yes,
that's
sir.
right,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? B, vote for Trump,
Man,
man. Stop playing.
Yeah, not happening. Not happening.
All right,
he
y'all,
said
man. I'm
stop
out
playing.
back.
All right, boy.
All right, for sure.
All right. Peace.
Yes, sir.
One.